Welcome to Dragons from Scratch. This is a real play D&D show in which a GM sits in front of a bunch of players and has absolutely no idea what the adventure is going to be about. Absolutely no prep has been put into this. And I, as the game master for this run, need to figure things out. Moving first to my left, Judy. Introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Well, hi, sweetie.
Oh, shit.
So, I'm Judy. Hi. My character is Miladred Autumn Hollow. She is a halfling, very proud grandmother. So she's a bard.
Okay.
But don't get on her bad side, because those knitting needles are rapier sharp.
All right.
What do you play?
That's, look, every character has a little bit of yourself.
No, instrument.
Oh, instrument. Oh, yes. Bagpipes. My granddad taught me. I like to keep the family traditions alive.
Okay, Mildred Hollow, halfling, bagpipe-playing bard grandmother. Step one. Okay, moving on. Next to my left.
My character's name is Timmy Bennix, but
For Yates, by the way.
my name's Chris Yates. Hi. My character's name is Timmy Bennix, which camera should I look at? I'm going to do this. But he insists on being called Nix because it sounds cooler than his actual name. He's a teenage human. He is currently, living in his mother's cellar, but really wants to. Has a obsession with the Gith. Like, loves the Gith, thinks Vlaakith is just like the coolest thing, and is sort of going to be his way out of this sort of very sad life that he leads. Sometimes he does get dragged out and about by, he sometimes goes over to the neighbor's house and, they treat him in a way he wants to be treated versus, his parents insist that it's just a phase. But yeah, insists on being called Nix and insists on, like the how great the Gith are, and will frame most of what he's saying in that language. So
He's in a bit of a gift phase.
I asked for this. I completely told you guys not to tell me what I was getting into. All right, starting off far to my right.
I'm Shayn, and I'm playing the Goliath Druid Circle of the Stars, Ingrid Moonraiser, who is a folk hero to the local people with her trusty coworker as a certified public accountant by day and a girl by night, where she defends the world from devastation. Yep.
By day.
Yep.
Interesting. So, Goliath, Ingrid Moonraiser, Druid, folk hero, accountant by day.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
And finally.
Hi, I'm Joe. I'm Wilfin Bodrick. I'm a halfling. I'm an accountant down at Klein's. Accountant by day. Actually, an accountant by night also.
Okay, accountant.
I work with Ingrid. Mildred's my gran.
I'm so proud.
And I'm so chuffed to be on holiday. I'm really hoping to see, one of them cryptids. Got me binocs. Got me all-terrain sandals. Really just excited to be here.
So big into second breakfast, aren't you? Fair enough.
Binocs.
All
The
right.
all-terrain sandals is really just...
Got my trail socks.
My gran made me this bag of gorp.
So, Kim, you had something ready for this, right?
Absolutely not. Yeah, no, that's so a little bit more about the game. That's kind of the purpose of it, is we are here to create a hopefully fun and interesting experience for everybody as you watch through this session, and I stumble along trying to keep up with the players, their crazy antics and their ideas, and make something that seems like I have prepared it completely by improvisation, when in reality I have not even thought about this. I was listening to a book on the way over here. I have absolutely no idea what's going on or what's been presented. This is my first consuming of any of this material, and hopefully from this you will follow along with the podcasts that follow as we go over the crazy things that I create here and help you all to develop tips and tricks to be better game masters and stop being afraid and terrified. So both for new game masters, veteran game masters, reluctant game masters, and those who are really looking forward to it. Come along with us as we dive into this, and hopefully we'll pick up some things along the way and make all of our games a little bit better. So we're going to start this thing off the way most games do, with a random roll from... I'm going to go with Shayn. Why don't you go ahead and give me a die 20 roll? I'm going to use this to determine whether or not you guys start off in a good position or a bad position.
A 6.
A 6, okay. You guys have all been arrested. You are in a wagon that is slowly moving down a country road on its way to, let us say, the town of Everdale, where you are going to be arraigned. However, you do not know exactly why you have been arrested. You were wandering along the road when a series of 3, or let's just say a series of 4 men approached you, and they decided that it'd be a real good idea to rob you. Oops. Oh, yep. To rob you and take all of your money. A simple battle ensued in which you easily were able to knock them out and take care of them and reduce them basically to quivering piles. At which case then a series of magistrates showed up quickly thereafter and arrested all of you for brawling in public, which was really weird because it was on the side of a road, but technically in the jurisdiction of Everdale. You are in this small cart on its way to Everdale, not just the 4 of you, but also with the 4 brigands who tried to rob you. So let's kick this thing off with one more roll, perception from everybody.
Let's go. Damn it.
Oh, you're awake.
I was gonna make that joke.
16.
All right.
10.
24, starting strong.
24.
Less than your passive. Let me help.
Yeah, that's 6.
Okay.
It's hard for you to see with those glasses.
They got fogged up.
Okay, so we got 24?
24.
10.
16.
6.
6, okay. Taking a look across, you guys have been put in here, but you have not been manacled and chained. However, they have manacled up the 4 brigands who are sitting on the opposite side. It's 4 of you on one side, 4 of you on another, in this long wagon, 2 horses pulling it, 2 guards up front, 2 guards are in the back on horses. You can look out the very small porthole windows and you can see them. They all seem to be rather annoyed at the fact that they stopped a brawl within city limits and they're now taking you into the town. Taking a look across at you, you see that the 4 of them are kind of staring there and eyeing you, and they're kind of rocking back and forth, and they're kind of mumbling to themselves.
Oh, thank you, Wilfin.
I hope you young men. No, thank you, sweetie. I hope
He sort of
that you youngins have really taken this opportunity to think about your life choices and how it is not
don't be so hard on the Gran.
appropriate.
I'm sorry.
How it is not appropriate to try and rob your elders like this. And I hope that you use this opportunity to really turn your lives around. And if you don't, I will stab you again.
Where's the goat? I'll take the goat. This is the goat. Need the goat. I'll take the goat.
Biscuit?
Is it gold? It's not gold.
No, they're vanilla.
Take the goat, take the goat, take the goat, take the goat.
I hear that vanilla is often referred to as the gold of desserts.
One of them reaches over and tries to grab it, and grabs it and sniffs it and shoves it into his mouth. And you look over and you notice that his eyes are glossed over, and as he eats it, the color of his eyes goes from blue to straight white to gold and then back to blue. And he shoves it into his mouth. The other ones are similarly mumbling, and they're kind of looking down at the ground. And then they look up and they're kind of staring at your belts. They're gauging you. Their glossed over faces, glassy eyed. One of them starts to drool out of the left side of their mouth and twitch. What do you do?
Now, I'm an old lady, So I'm not really up to date on all the drugs that these young kids are doing, but do you know, Wilfred? Have you heard anything on the streets?
Oh, I think we heard Nathaniel talking about his son who was caught up in some nasty business.
It is a true shame. I have to say that his college career will be truly derailed by this. But what was the specifics? It was
Fizzy wax, was it?
fizzy wax or fizzy wicks?
Fizzy wicks, was it? Oh, fizzy wicks.
Nix.
Fizzy
I don't
Wicks
hang out
to
with
the
people.
floor on the other
Sweetheart.
side.
To the brigand.
Looks up at you.
Fizzy wicks?
Are there any foreign
Gold.
fizzy
Of
wicks
course.
sort of thing? Do the Gith do fizzy wicks?
The Gith don't do drugs. That's not. They believe in the purity of Blacketh. And
Oh,
Right,
I
yeah.
see. I see.
Oi! You being mighty dirty in there, what are you talking about?
Fizzy wicks.
the Gith.
A head comes down and you look and you see sort of like the thin
on Blacketh?
face of a guard sort of comes down, helmet falling down over his eyes. You can barely see it. He sits there. He's got a couple of awkward shaped, very strange looking teeth. He's like, hey.
They're sick.
He looks over at him.
Offer him a biscuit.
Would you like a biscuit?
Oh yeah, I'll take a biscuit. Here's a good biscuit. Oh, you made a biscuit?
Thank you.
Oi, well, we got to pull over. We got to fall. I think they're sick. They got the sickness. Okay.
Everything kind of pulls over to this top. They open up the doors, and you can see the two guards who are standing there. One's like really tall. He's like 6'5". He's big. He's fat, broad-chested. Helmet also really too big. Comes down over his eyes. He's kind of looking at you through a big nose. The other one is thinner, smaller. Also, clothes just don't fit. They're kind of staring at you strangely. The big symbol of the town of Everdale on their chests as they're kind of looking at you. Then they look at them. Then they look at you. Then they look back at them. And one of them sort of scratches his helmet, which doesn't make any sense. And as he's staring at the guards, he goes, he stares back to the other guards and he goes,
Hey, I think we got a problem here. What?
these ones here is a little bit farther advanced than we've seen him. Oh no.
Get him out of there.
And they quickly undo your shackles, pull off the chain, and tell you to get out, but they leave the other four on that side.
Oh,
What do you do?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Help my grand down from the cart.
Oh, he's such a good boy.
Okay, they are also helping you all out, and they all draw weapons, and they are staring at the four on the side, and you see one of them looks up, and their eyes are just literally turned to spheres of solid gold. Their teeth begin to turn gold, their skin begins to grow in sort of a spreading rash that goes across their faces, and you see their entire bodies begin to turn to solid gold. And as they're staring at them with their blades out, one by one, they slowly begin to spread like a frost that covers them. And it also spreads slightly up the side of the cart, onto the bench, as all four of these people, their bench, the actual wall itself, and half of this carriage turn to gold.
Now, I don't think that's fizzy wicks.
What do you figure the nominal tax rate would be on something like that?
I would say at least 3.4%.
At least 3.4, probably 3.6.
That's very good, but right
Who's
now
gonna
I
pay
would like
this?
to not turn to gold.
Just municipal?
I believe this would fall under municipal bond.
Municipal bond, yes.
Yes.
Where have you come from? You're not from Everdale, are you?
Oh no, we're from Cottageton down the way.
They stop and they look over at each other and look back at you. I don't know if you're going to be fine. You should go see your apothecary to find out.
Oh, okay. Can we help? Is there any help that you young lads need here? Because this looks like a bit of a situation.
No, we've got to burn it.
Does gold burn?
Cool. I mean,
It melts, normally.
Oh, they're not gold. No, they did. They're something else. It's gold colored, but it's not really gold. And he pulls out the sword and he stabs one of them. And it clinks and rips past the skin. And it does flake off the gold. But as it does it, you look and you see what seems to be mercury pour out. And then the arm kind of crumbles, shrivels in on itself. And soon the body pours out this liquid quicksilver.
that's
And it
unfortunate.
deflates.
Is fire gonna do it?
Could I make a,
We ain't got a good idea. It's the best thing we use. It seems to keep it away.
I would like to make an Arcana check. I read a lot of books.
Go ahead.
You know, I'm just, it's
Medicine, I watch a lot of programs.
Go ahead.
healer. I taught him one.
12?
16.
16?
10.
You don't watch enough.
Okay. Wow, you've seen transmogrification or you've heard of things like that before. You? Arcana trained?
Medicine.
Medicine. Okay. Yeah, definitely not a natural disease you've ever heard of. Yeah, from what you can tell, you have never seen anything like this. So.
It's like flesh to stone, but flesh to gold.
Except not actually gold, as we can see. It's more of gold film.
Flesh to gold lame.
Easy, no one ever notices little old ladies. So I'm just gonna stealthily take a little bit of gold flake into like a little, I pull out of my bag. I had a little glass jar.
Cool,
I
sleight
like
of
to
hand.
collect.
I'll just engage their constable and chatter, idle chatter.
All right. You go up and you start talking to the constable.
I've so watched a lot of programs, but I've not seen anything quite like this.
So 20.
Yeah, you definitely are able to take a piece of gold. So put gold skin on your sheet. You have a piece of gold skin.
And just to be clear, I am not touching it with my skin. I have my little embroidery scissors, and I just take a little snippet right into the glass.
The classic.
That's fantastic. I don't have to make that other roll then. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
No,
you use a tool to grab it as opposed to.
I use a tool, and I always have little containers in my purse because I have these little mint tins. I'm always
Dutch cookie tin.
Yeah.
What else
Honey, that's the sewing bit.
I don't need an Altoid.
Do you have a word?
Oh, I do. Yes, there you go.
Ingrid's going to unfold herself out of this wagon and extend herself to a true 8 feet tall. And she will, as he is engaging and talking with the guard, she'll go to the 6'5" one who thinks he's quite large and readjust his helmet to fit properly.
Several of the swords kind of move over towards you, and one of the constables like, yeah, it's been happening a bit more and more around here. It's been happening probably over the course of the past few weeks. We've been seeing people be going a little mad with gold fever.
Gold fever?
They've been turning and running away.
We see that every
This
now
lad
and then
right
too, don't we?
He goes, it's not a funny thing. This lad right here, he used to be a stable boy. That one over there was a baker. I knew them from town. Not only did I know them from town, but all 4 of these ones. We got a baker, these 2 were at stables, and that one here was a weaponsmith.
Candle maker.
Yeah. Well, not
The
really.
butcher.
No, it wasn't that.
And
no.
the baker.
That's Gal, that's Dab, that's Flux, that's Stu. At least that's the names I knew them by at the pub. They weren't even together. But now we see them and they're robbing you lot. We thought you all were just having a scrum. Something we figured we'd take you all in for, and then we see this. No, I'm sorry for it. We just kind of panicked and arrested you all to get this whole stress straightened out.
Where did you first see it? The fever?
Well, they ran into the local bank. They tried to take over and rob it. We had to move all the things up to the governor's mansion. They tried to rob it, and they were trying to kill people to get their gold. Not even trying to get gold, they were taking anything and melting it down. They were doing whatever they could to be feverishly grabbing metals. Anything they could that was anywhere valuable. But it wasn't like any kind of just a normal greed. It was almost like someone who really wanted the drink, The folks that you sometimes see that are really into the firewater or whiskey or things like that. And they was just going crazy for it. It's consumed probably about 10% of Everdale. They've all taken it.
What do they do with the stuff? Do they consume it?
I don't know. They take it and they take a good amount and then they vanish into the woods and we never see them again. We've been just noticing that the people that have been vanishing, we ain't seen them, but we've been starting to see people appear in town because the gold's running thin. Before, they just take what's around their house. All the house has been pilfered. The crime's been out of control. We're breaking into everything, stealing whatever they can, stealing it from houses, stealing it right off the street. And once we've locked it up there, then we locked it up there after we start on control, and now they're bleeding out into the area around it. People like you and the such, grabbing you. If you hadn't have roughed them up so bad, we probably would have just let you go, but still, I know these lads. They're not bad lads, but it's just getting to me. I ain't slept for a couple of days.
You knew them.
Yeah, but I didn't know you, but sorry I put you in there.
Do you know what's causing this at all?
The other one speaks up. Hey, we haven't an idea, but we've been really looking into it. You see, the thing we've been trying to think is that maybe gold is cursed and people should just get on a barter system. And someone just puts their hand up and pushes them off to the side.
I've actually heard the base silver system is very effective.
It's like, don't listen to Twigs. You don't know what he's talking
Almost doubles
about.
the amount of available currency.
Silver is
much, much better. And he he just brandishes and a silver sword appears in his hand.
The little one comes back up.
Like
the wealth disparity is so great in this country. It's not looking to him, mate. He pushes aside. Look,
Is
How do you feel
flipping
about strange
through-
women in ponds?
Flipping through a large book full of pictures of monsters, trying to figure out which cryptid is causing this.
oh yeah, go ahead. Roll nature.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 3. So it could be the locust people. It could be chupacabra. It could be Mothman. It could be Big Dave. So he's just like flipping through this book, like looking for the symptoms.
Could it be Skunkape?
Could be Skunkape.
Wait. You asked to help.
Ah,
Your grandmother, you two seem to be...
I'm an accountant.
Okay.
Accountant by trade.
so I reach over and
Sorry, I think we got all the help we can need. Is the...
But
I turn to the index. The index suite.
We'll be able
I rolled
to
a
see
13
better,
nature.
'cause our clothes. Okay.
See that you cannot see the eyes of this person.
I know,
But you
yes.
know they narrow underneath the helmet because the helmet drops a little bit. The frown that kind of goes over them, and they kind of grit their 3 teeth.
Have another biscuit. Now, I rolled a 13 nature. So I pointed him to the index of the book.
So we're flipping through the book to figure out which cryptid could possibly cause this.
Oh, well, you found that there's a monster that turns things to rust, but there's not a thing that turns people into gold with blood of mercury.
Well, we could be concerned citizens. I assure you that we have more than meets the eye.
We beat up the robbers.
Well, stretched too far thin as it is. All right. Well, it's not that long of a walk to Everdale. We got 4 horses, so if you don't mind a trek with us, we've got to burn the wagon. I'll say we all go up to Everdale. Let's go see the cleric. He's got an idea. Our town healer's been trying to figure things out. He might be the best lead. All of us, all we try to do is trying to keep it from spreading. And we still don't even know what's going on.
Well, that sounds like a lot of people that need a good home-cooked meal.
All right.
Nix is trying to spy underneath the edge of the helmet to actually get a look at this guy's eyes.
Sure, perception check. They don't even seem to exist. It seems as though he's somehow able to see through the band of the helmet that comes down to about here over the top of his nose, right? The other one, similar that way. One big tooth sticking up over here. They straight up look like comic book characters.
Big Beetle Bailey vibes there.
Very much. Yep. So, the 2 guards who introduce themselves as Twigs and Sledge are the ones that are going to lead you guys into town. The other 2 sort of nondescript ones sort of hanging in the back, their clothes actually fit, and they seem to be looking more around for people to jump you. They have their weapons constantly out and are no longer concerned with you, but have a mighty concern for looking at any oncoming bush or downed log, something where people can hide. As they've said, their townfolk have stopped taking from their own homes, robbing their citizens, but instead going out and committing larceny and violent crimes on people traveling the roads of what's normally a very peaceful area.
If you like, Millie, I can carry you.
Oh no, sweetheart, I'm good, thank you.
All right, I just always want to be conscious of what you are doing. And I know that it can be quite a trek on your legs.
I appreciate that, but it keeps me young, darling.
All right.
Wolfwood has a walking stick, and a minute or so into the hike, I see him peel a sales label off the walking stick.
Millie is not at all bothered by a long hike.
Oh no.
You have a walking stick. Do you clearly have a weapon?
Yeah, I have a longbow.
You have a
In
longbow.
theory, I mean, they probably would have taken it or something, but yeah, I would have a bow slung over.
You
Also, probably still has the price
Did we
tag
get
on it.
any gear that they took? Did we get it back?
a horse.
Any gear that they took
We have
because
our
we were
gear.
under arrest, we get back.
Yes, you get all of your gear back. They return everything to you. They give you a sincere apology. They were just trying to stop anybody from getting murdered.
Everyone makes mistakes.
It's okay, you're good boys. Have another biscuit.
One of them looks down and goes, "Oh, I think I've had too many." And Twigs is like, "I will take one if they are free." Takes one, doesn't even consider caring about asking you for anything else, but does look at you and says, there you go. And he hands you a dagger.
Oh.
That bow's not going to help you. They're going to come out and they're going to shanky right in the ribcage. You need to go ahead. You need something to defend yourself. Take a dagger. I've got plenty. And he holds up and he's got lines of daggers, just tons of daggers. Just
Bandoliers. Full of daggers.
bandoliers full of daggers, but they're all random daggers that clearly he didn't buy them from the same place, or maybe he's just one of those people that loves to collect knives for no reason.
Sure.
Yeah, he seems like that kind of person.
We shop at the same coat company, and she pulls open her like knitted cardigan, and it's just, but instead of knives, you see it's various different sewing scissors.
Twigs offers you a spot on his horse to discuss knives and cutlery on your way to Everdale.
Oh, how delightful!
It's big enough. All right. So you hop on.
She is
Twigs
very personable.
Twigs turns backwards on his horse, who he has named Whetstone, and tells Whetstone to go home. Whetstone doesn't seem to care and walks without any problems, and talks to you about knives, knife sharpening, blade things, pointy things, and all other things.
Oh, yes.
He is very obsessed with alloys, metal, sharp things, long things, anything that pokes, stabs, slices, all of that stuff.
I show him needle,
Mhm.
which is my knitting needle. One of my knitting needles. I have a pair, and they are rapier sharp.
In that they're literally rapiers.
He
And then
looks
they're
you over to
rapiers.
see if you actually have anything on you that is actually knitted.
Oh, yeah, my cardigan is knitted. And you
I'm
can
also
see
wearing a
that.
knitted sweater.
Okay.
Yes,
So
I
you have knitting
I
needles,
several
and there are
scars.
things knitted on the people.
I
It's not
have,
like,
I have knitted mittens hanging off of my wrists.
He's
I
got
put gauntlet cozies,
so sword like.
but they're like green and like silver.
okay, the fear stands down when he looks at you, looks at all of them, and then realizes, oh, okay.
But we are decked in knitted gear.
Yes, and you may notice that some of the items, it doesn't really appear to be wool, but possibly like a wool-metal hybrid. So she needs the sharp needles to sort of knit that mithril thread in
Steel
there.
wool, if you will.
I will. Sounds extremely comfortable right now.
From a heavily armored sheep.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
I mean, you notice Dear Nix has some silver woven into those bracers. That I can't forge armor, but I can knit him some wonderful gift style armor for his thing. Interest, not faith.
Well, he does ask to see your wares if you have any, since he assumes that you are some kind of traveling cloth armor of some kind.
Oh no, see, I don't. It's a hobby, and just something to fill the days. But here, I do have a pair of mittens. Your hands will never be cold in these.
I keep telling her to open a shop.
He assumes this is an offer and accepts.
It is. It's just I just give them away.
He puts them on and he holds them over to Sledge and Sledge looks over and says, and keeps on moving ahead. Clocking away.
While we're on the horse, she is knitting, and she's knitting a helmet cozy for Sledge.
A helmet cozy. As you guys continue on, it's only about another hour into Everdale. It is a sort of a large area around the city that is controlled by the local constabulary, and it is the major city for this part of the woods. Let's see here. Everdale. How big are we going to be? Go ahead and somebody give me a die 20
Send a note
roll.
to your parents, love.
Let's see. I hope I
An 8.
before dark.
An 8.
Yep.
All right. This is the part where we edit out me writing down stuff for about 20 seconds.
What?
I'm down it.
Whenever you say we're going to edit this out, they never edit that part out.
No.
Yeah, I know.
They never do.
I would specifically keep that.
Yep.
We'll send a note to your parents, dear, that you're on a educational journey with
Field
me.
trip.
Field trip.
Field trip will do you good.
Okay.
Perhaps there are job opportunities here.
I don't want to get yelled at. So
Don't worry. If they're gonna yell at anyone, they're gonna yell at me, and they would never dare, because then they'd get no more biscuits.
The terror is truly overwhelming.
Yes. I mean, especially my ginger snaps.
Oh, love the ginger snaps.
Produces a bag.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone go ahead and give me a history roll, and let's see what you guys know about the town of Everdale.
13.
13.
13?
7.
She's
Never heard of it.
never heard of it. Everdale is a fairly sized town that actually exists along the Dagger River, and it is in the Gambrel Woods. Everdale itself has about 1,000 or so people. It is a rather sprawling town, not quite a major city. What it is mostly known for is import and exports of wood. Those raw materials taken from the Gamber Woods moved up and down the Dagger River all the way down to Shayn and all the way up to other places that are along it within Breland. Stopping into this city, there are a number of places in which you can stop and grab provisions, food, things like that. The city itself, as I said, 1,000 people is both the surrounding area of the city, but inside the city proper, probably only about 500 are known to live. The rest are in the suburbs that directly surround it. And as you approach, the woods opens up and you can see it going down into the valley along the Dagger River, the town, or the large town, your provisional city of Everdale, right? As you begin to wander into the city, the assault of different spices and cured and smoked meats sort of hit your senses as there are different stands that are all around the entrances. Multiple people are trying to sell you their very quick serve goods for anybody who's coming into the town from traveling and wants something real quick as a bite before they enter and do their business. You guys are all sort of rushed past them and you are making your way to a building that off in the distance seems to be sort of a focal point. It's a cathedral that represents the sovereign host, which in Eberron is the kind of main basic religion of all the sort of gods all assembled. And pushing off into that direction, it seems that Twigs and Sledge are determined to kind of get you there first. So as you guys continue to go through, you can just go along with them, or you can say, yeah, no, we see it, we're good, and you can venture off. So do you go along with business, or do you go off on your own?
I don't know.
They're
I don't know about church. Guys.
They're definitely not keeping you. As they enter the town, they even point off and they say that if you want to help, that's where you need to go. And we are going there if you want to go, but otherwise, you are in no obligation. You may do as you wish. Welcome to Everdale.
I think we should continue there if this is truly a crisis amongst the city. If there's anyone who can do anything, it would be us.
Wolf was actively trying to buy beef jerky off of one of these Edwards as you guys are pushing him.
Yeah.
One copper.
I do not even get the opportunity to do that.
Fair.
So just extend out a hand, or just kind of grab by the scruff of the coat.
Perception test,
Somehow.
by the way, too.
No one saw it happen, but Mildred has obtained herself a sausage roll.
Halflings when you leave them alone.
21.
21, 22. Posters around town and some of the bulletin boards when you
18.
first enter, you guys see it. Anybody who rolled over a 12 sees it. That are saying, do you see people that have been absorbed by the gold curse? And if you see something, you see a person acting oddly, bring them to the sovereign host, bring them to Father Maddox, let them see, let them be treated, do not let this progress. It doesn't say that they will turn into gold and they will die, but it warns them. And there are also a lot of missing people posters around there. You count at least 50 of them, at least, of people that have been missing. And they all say, missing since this, missing this since. It's all within the past couple of weeks. People
Are they
missing. Men? They're mostly men. All of them adults. There are no children. You see a few women, but predominantly the ones that are there happen to be adult males, or probably about 66%, and then the rest adult females. Nobody below what would be considered the working age, and most of them kind of middle-aged as well.
All human or different races?
Various races. Dwarves, halflings. Go ahead, since you asked, make an investigation check.
What's my investigation? That's gonna be +2, so 20.
Zero Warforged, very few elves. Mostly dwarves, humans, halflings.
So it's organic.
Not a dragonborn either.
So it's organic.
Wolflin, paging through his book again, asked Sledge, how far are we from the sea?
The sea?
The sea.
We're about 3 weeks walk, but maybe about a week and a half up the Dagger River, down the Dagger River to Shayn.
Not the Kraken then.
Rope's just 1 week up the trails.
Sirens? No.
It could be a naiad if it's near a river.
Is there a river?
He stops and he turns his head towards the giant river that is you clearly see running along that exists. It is a town renowned for its shipping of wood. He's like, was that river?
Yeah, well, underlines Naiad in the travel guide. Okay.
He starts to rethink whether or not he should have told you to help. I want to give you one of mine. And he goes and he gives you a stiletto. Twig.
Ooh.
Twig gives you stiletto.
Oh, lovely. I pull out a pair of embroidery scissors.
Mm-hmm.
They are gold plated. And the handles look like a little stork. Like the beak is it's like the wings, and the beak are the scissors, and these are very sharp.
Oh.
They will cut through anything.
Wonderful.
But don't cut paper with
Yeah,
it.
do
Grab
not
it
use
with
that on
hammer.
paper. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not paper. You want to keep the edge sharp.
Anything except paper.
Stares at them for a minute, and you see if a human being could have in their eyes wheels spinning and turning, the gears begin to do something.
If
and
you cut paper with grand scissors, the next thing they cut will be your flesh.
Takes them,
That is
puts
what
them where
she
the
always says.
stiletto.
We're all saying this at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Holding on to it, make an Arcana check.
The other friend, I put a cozy over his helmet. You looked cheerly, dear.
He lifts up his helmet, and for a moment you see his eyes, and they're kind of sunken in, blackened, bloodshot. Looks up at him, grabs a hold of it, and adjusts it over the helmet, and then rests down. Nose has a permanent crease, you know, like it hit there multiple times with the end of like a field shovel, and like hits down on the wedge.
I think purple suits you nicely. 18 on
I'll
Arcana.
cherish it forever. Right.
18 on Arcana.
18 on Arcana. Great. You hold it, and immediately it hums with a magical energy. The stiletto does.
Useful.
Mm-hmm. They make their way, giving you a good travels, good journeys, and hopefully you keep your eyes out and you keep your eyes peeled because something dastardly is going on in Everdale, and they make their way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know we shouldn't have to go over this, but you can't keep talking about her when we go into the church.
What?
The V word.
He's like, well, why wouldn't I? I don't talk about her all the time. I have lots.
Just in your mind, darling, just think about what all of her reaction to all that silliness would be,
Scare them straight.
and then you can
Murder them.
journal about it later. and then think of the best way that you could live up to her will and not get arrested.
Remember what Dr. Calvin said.
We need to eliminate the guards because they're the ones. Right. Okay. Thank you. That's very helpful.
Right, but just
he said
think about it.
illuminate.
You think about it.
Not illuminate.
Illuminate. Think about illuminating them.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. That's good. I'll do that.
So when we go into the church, just think about how illuminated everyone there will be.
Okay.
Okay.
I will illuminate. Yep.
Oh, darn it.
We will go inside of the church.
Okay, sure.
Where'd you get the sausage roll?
Where'd you get the what?
Where'd you get the sausage roll?
From the vendors, darling. You've got to be quick on the update. Like I always tell you, Goofy.
The amount of sausage rolls that are at the vendor is such that they would not miss one. They probably wouldn't even miss a dozen as people are coming forth and throwing down money and grabbing a sausage roll. So I'm not even going to have you roll for that. That's not even a thing. You're a halfling. You take a sausage roll.
She has
They
very
don't
quick
stop.
hands.
They don't stop you.
I make a lot of bread.
Keeps me flexible.
Making your way through the town, I would like everybody to just give me a random die 20 roll, please. 5, 3. Oh, wow.
Lucky number 7.
Great, okay. Walking through the town, you can see that there is a lot of graffiti. Some of it's been spray painted on some of the walls of apothecaries, others are potion shops, and some of them on banks. They say things like the avarice curse, greed kills. One of them even says gold for the gold god, which is a little strange. And you're like,
If you left gold for the gold.
well, that's a thing, right?
Is
But
there a
all
gold
I think it
sorts
god?
was
things
a
that you see.
superior rendition.
It took them a little while to get there.
Is there a gold god?
No, not that you know of.
Okay.
Roll religion.
15.
There's this other like strange bloodish religion that's kind of not really picking up very well. But
Look
there's some
for the
people.
blood god,
There's some
yes.
people over in the east that are kind of like really into it. So maybe somebody just kind of playing a joke. It's written. It's just sort of on the wall.
was here. Yeah.
The avarice kills, the greed one. Various things like this are written. You also notice that a good number of them are written in a gold paint.
That seems in poor taste.
Yeah.
Well, now.
Yeah. Or some kind of a silver paint. Other things that actually would be rather expensive, or
Friends.
require artifice in order to create easily.
Is he where they're trying to like lick the paint off the walls?
There's nobody there trying to lick the paint off the walls. However, now that you've said it, I'd like you to make an investigation check.
You start licking the walls.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lick that wall. Investigation is 16.
You notice that around some of the ones that do have paint that happens to have some kind of a precious material, either gold or copper or silver and white, there are, like you see on the side of the road, small stands that memorize when somebody died here. Little tiny bits put. You see little things scrawled, memories, sometimes flowers left at the site of these buildings in which there has been that graffiti. In some places, the graffiti clearly has been scrubbed off, or it's been attempted to have been scrubbed off. You can only be able to work out just from the outline what was written here. But sometimes the graffiti is fresh. The paint's still wet. It's still going on. People are also out there trying to clean off certain graffiti. Probably about every 50 feet that you walk on your way, you see at least one building that happens to be some place of commerce or some place of healing that has graffiti, a negative message, something that tells the people to pack shop and go home, someone who has been displeased with what has happened and what this establishment provided to the community or its people. It's clearly written on here. It's not even something you have to roll for. Broken windows, damaged doors, and other vandalism usually accompanies the graffiti. By the time you make it to the church, the cathedral of the, well, I should say the church, not really cathedral, it's sort of halfway. Everdale's in that wonderful, as I said before, sort of a middle part between becoming a major town and a shipping port. It's still kind of small town in its vibes. The place of the sovereign host has barricades around it and guards, not guards from the town themselves and the sovereign host, or sorry, not guards from the town itself and the constabulary, guards of the church. Warriors, you can see one of them from the emblem on their breastplate and their livery that there's a high probability that they are either a priest, warrior, or perhaps a paladin themselves of the sovereign host are standing outside, and anyone who approaches the church proper, they at least rip up on their spears and, stepping forward, take a quick gauge of, is this a ravenous person coming up here looking for help, threat, doing whatever they can to quickly judge you. And as you approach, they do so as well.
I do a big hello as we approach.
You approach, and you are 8 feet tall, and
You know, she's 8 feet tall, covered in hides and chains and big fur coat. She's got all these blue tattoos over and like bright purple hair, and big Viking shield on her left arm, just waving really happily.
Two halflings and a southern teenager.
right.
Biscuit?
Biscuit. All right. The paladin who approaches you, you can look up and see that you are staring at a rather tall elf, long blonde hair. She is dressed in what it seems to be rather dented and armor that has seen some wear and tear. She has a long sword still in the sheath, but she has her hand on the side. She walks up to you, and as you say hello, she presents you with a smile as you walk up. And when you offer a biscuit, looks down and holds up her hand. Nay, thank you. So,
Would you like me to fix that hem, dear?
On your tunic, it's fraying a little bit, and I'm afraid that your scabbard will catch on it.
its memories are precious to me. May I ask your business, please, in the temple today?
We've come to help. We were told by Sledge and Twigs.
Twigs.
Twigs. Well, a series of twigs.
We left twigs.
Those two bumbling buffoons of the constabulary.
That could be a descriptor applied to them.
Yeah, they were very nice.
They were very nice.
Kind, yes. Not always astute, and I would say fair in sometimes their judgments of folks around town, but they mean well. Still, they sent you to our temple.
Well, you see, darling, we're from Cottagetown down the way.
Yes, I'm aware.
And we were
Of the
coming
town,
back.
not of you.
Yes, we were coming back from bingo. It was bingo night at the tavern, and
I got the mug.
this is my grandson. This is my
almost
neighbor, and this is my grandson's coworker. They're just lovely folks. We were coming back, and we were jumped by these people, and you were very friendly, if somewhat. Well, they're very nice guards. We had in the scuffle gotten a little close to the borders of Everdell, and we got scooped up along with the brigands, but then the brigands got kind of sick in the carriage, and then we found out about this, and I am just very concerned that this could spread to Cottagetown. So I wanted to find out what was going on.
Do you think it's a naiad?
So many questions. First, what's a bingo?
Oh, it's a game for old people.
I see.
But they also have all you can drink sodas.
I do not have time for games.
We're not asking to play. We just want to see what's going on and see if we can help. I know we look a little motley, but we won't be in your way. And we have a lot of really interesting expertise.
Well, if you ever find yourself in Cottagetown, you can come and we will teach you bingo.
This church doesn't have bingo.
Smiles and just caught that. Smiles and nods. Like, thank you for the kind offer. I am Sister Akara. I am second priestess and also defender of this Temple of the Sovereign Host. But I would like to first ask officially, what are all of your names?
Oh, so terribly sorry. Also, I rolled a 20 in persuasion.
20 in persuasion?
Yes.
No.
Everybody loves a granny.
Everyone does love Granny.
You can call me Millie, or you can call me Granny if you want, if that makes you feel better. I never have too many grandchildren.
Takes her hand off her sword. She keeps asking the question, though, what's your names?
I'm Nix.
Hand goes back on her sword.
Okay. Wilson with a big handshake. Well, not that handshake. Introduces himself.
Right. Armored Gauntlet gives you a shake. When you grab her hand, make a perception test.
07.
Oh, it's a shake. Does not crush your hand. Wonderful.
And I am Ingrid. She does the whole like warrior clasp thing to her arm, just reaching down real quick.
Warrior clasp.
Yeah.
Okay, no perception roll. You go and you give a clasp. It's a good, strong, well done clasp.
Yeah.
Right. Adventurers then.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
We are mighty adventurers who've traveled far.
Ah, may I see your guild permits?
We have just started our big journey and are going through the proper processes.
That's why we came to Everdale was together.
Millie pulls out a guild pass.
Oh. Person grabs it. Looks like.
It's a little out of date, but I do still pay the dues. I like to support the organization.
You used to work for Breland as a teenager during the... You know what? That's fine. Hands it back to you. Doesn't. These things are always updated. I always carry my outdated one with me as well. She opens up, reaches in, pulls out what looks to be some kind of form. It's for the Sovereign Host and some sort of clerical bullshit. You have no idea, and then puts it back in.
It's an N132. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, if you do the N132 to avoid having to do a B36 supplemental.
6 supplementals.
Are all the two of you barristers or something?
Accountants.
Certified public accountants.
By the host.
You may have heard of our great deeds in Cottagetown.
I have not.
As long as you're paying property.
We are both folk heroes for what it's worth.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we're both folk heroes.
Okay, but when you've given your names,
Yeah.
let us see a history check. Oh, no, that's a 2. No clue. So it's like, sorry, a little closed here in our cloister. But if you would please, the father inside, Maddox. In fact, let me take you to meet him.
Oh, wonderful.
He has information that might help
While
you.
we have been standing here discussing and talking and introducing, I have knit a pair of gauntlets liners for her so that it will increase sensitivity, but prevent calluses.
Do you have a craft? What's your craft?
Oh.
Do you have a needle, like needles is one of your proficiencies by any chance?
Tool proficiency.
Just curious if you have a tool
I don't know if it's
proficiency.
a bard's good at proficiency, right?
Well, you see,
get a tool proficiency.
If you don't, you make the gauntlets. You should add it because this is hilarious.
Yes.
That goes on your sheet now.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
happens, you present them to her, and she looks at you a little stunned. Takes a moment. She's not used to people presenting her with gifts, and also quickly and bespoke. So when you do so, she takes them, looks at them, and has no idea what to do with them because a gauntlet liner isn't something to her that is a normal everyday item. So she looks at them and tries to put them over her gauntlets.
Oh no,
and
it goes inside and then the gauntlet goes over it. You'll find increased sensitivity and it will prevent calluses.
Your persuasion was 20?
Yes.
You watch as she puts it on every step of the way, giving an eye to you to make sure she's doing it right, and then slips her gauntlet back on, and the look on her face is sort of like,
It's nice, isn't it?
fuck yeah, all right, cool. It's just,
It's quite nice.
Glad I could help. It makes me happy to see people using the things that I've made. By the way, all of her weapons are tools.
yes,
Like, the knitting needle is actually a rapier.
right. But you do know how to use it outside of combat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
of
important
course.
part.
That's why I carry them. I mean, never carry an item that only has one function.
So, after the trying on of the gauntlet sleeves and looking around and telling the guards to take the post, she walks all of you in. All right. The sister Akara walks with, when you watch her taking sort of strides, you didn't notice it before because she wasn't doing much walking. She walks with a noticeable limp, kind of sort of not really dragging her leg behind her, but it's clear that she is recovering from some kind of wound or battle by the way that she walks. As an elf, her hair, I believe I said, was blonde before. She is very tall. She's probably about 6'9", maybe 6'10". For an elf, even for an elf, that's fairly on the taller scale of things. She's also slighter of build, so definitely one of those dexterity-prone individuals as she is walking her way. And everyone you notice, you can't help but notice, they take a step back and they give a bow of respect. Not a bow of allegiance or a bow of like I'm subjugated, but definitely a nod to her. And she returns it to every single person on the way. And then the doors open to the church and you are assaulted with the smell of money. That smell of just a handful of coins from the bank, that sort of coppery smell of alloys and everything, and also mumbling and the sounds of an insane asylum, as most of the inside of the church has been just converted to beds and cages. All of the pews are removed. Makeshift holding pens are set up along with beds. You see nurses running back and forth, members of the clerical staff and healers. And there has to be maybe 100 different people in stages of this disease that have been moved along. Those who are becoming sort of manic and crazy are confined to cages, while those that still seem to be showing some sign of it are in beds. As it opens up and all of this hits you, I would like everyone to make me a quick Constitution save.
Would this be poisoned by any chance?
No.
7.
4.
18.
7.
18. Okay. Everybody who rolled under a 10 is currently under the effects of nausea, which hits you as the smell of coins and metal and that sort of, like I said, smell of just a handful of quarters is also then replaced with the smell of bodily fluids and BO and other things that mixes with it
You're used to
as
this
a
from being in
breeze
your
comes
basement
through.
all the time.
Right.
Wow. You're looking as green as I am.
I was gonna say the smell of coins is not a problem.
The body odor and the blood and the bile and the vomit and all these other smells that overcome you that are now mixed with it are a bit much. Yep. So and while you're here,
It goes higher.
Yeah. So
I have some herbs with me because we were going to. I always travel with seasonings because you never know when you need to make something.
sure.
So I have a little bit of rosemary that I'm gonna try to like burn. I light it on one of the lanterns and I just gotta waft.
Yeah, go ahead. Remake your Constitution saving throw. Anyone who's around our good friend Mildred, go ahead and re-roll your
that's a little better.
Constitution saving.
I'm just gonna fail it.
Oh, there we go.
That's
19.
This is
a
way
little
more fun.
All right.
I've got it.
Oh, Lily, I forgot you ate rosemary.
Oh,
Oh, I'm so
Gran.
sorry,
Oh.
but it's better. Raise your arms, love. Raise your arms, love.
Okay. Walking through the people and taking a look around, anyone who has medicine as a check skill may roll it for free.
Okay. 19.
19, okay.
But I'm distracted.
You
From being
saw folks that did not look as though they were in any way affected by this curse suddenly become covered in gold and die over the course, and then the gold spread to the area around them. It spread to the wood, it spread to everything else. You're seeing people in different stages of the disease, but also different types of symptoms. Some people have gold fingers, other people have one gold eye, some people have part of their face turned to gold, and they're still perfectly able to talk and move with it, and they're in these various different stages of this disease taking them over, while those that seem to be in the cages do not have any symptoms other than the mental capacity has shifted. They're now just babbling and mumbling and staring at the ground, and they're kind of swaying like zombies. They're grabbing a hold of the bars and they're moving back and forth. Those that are in the bed show signs of having some kind of transmogrification having already begun, but still have their wits about them. Those in the cages, no transmogrification, no change of their body type, but mentally warped or disturbed.
I would like to take out the little glass jar of gold skin that I have. And I would like to find out two things.
Yep.
I would like to find out if the gold skin reacts in any way to any of the people on the bed. I'm trying to see if it's some sort of like fungal infection that still lives, if it lives after it. If this is like a spore sort of situation, right? Where like the gold erupting is how it spreads. And I want to see if there is a consistent, the folks who have died and it spreads to the surrounding area, I want to see if that is a consistent distance.
You have pulled out the little vial. I would like you to, as soon as you pull it out, you look at it and you see that the inside of it is coated with gold that wasn't there before. Growing film like a petri dish. Flecks of it or something. It hasn't gone to the outside, but the inside clearly has specks of gold growing, and they've gone all the way up to the top. So that is one.
Maybe that's not somebody who put in the first.
Oh, these are hermetically sealed, darling. I like to collect samples. Now, that's interesting. Does it seem to get worse if I hold it closer to what exists, or it just moves?
It makes no reaction.
Oh, it makes no reaction,
No, it makes no reaction.
but it has grown on its own.
Correct. From the time it has been in your pocket, roughly an hour's worth of time, either flecks of it have come off and adhered to the glass surface, or more have grown.
Now, do I see any people that are removing the gold after somebody passes?
Not after somebody passes, but people are definitely trying to remove it with tools off of people that already have it. And when they pull it off of them, underneath, you can see a layer of skin, almost as if someone is pulling off like like after a burn or a sunburn or something else. They're pulling it off. There is skin underneath it. And they're using a solution of some kind of clear thing, a gauze, and they're using not a scalpel, but a small sharp pair of tweezers, and they're kind of slowly, almost like removing gold leaf off of something. Trying to de-gold leaf in one piece, because when you try to grab, a little fleck comes off, but they're trying to go so slowly that they remove it. And when they remove it, the people appear to be in pain, who have the gold already on them, who have their wits about them. They're not just sitting in bed quietly. They're sitting in bed, they are wincing, they are sedated, there's the smell of different incense and things around their beds that bring calm to them. They're definitely in some form of suffering while they are in this state. And most of them are unconscious by medicine or some other spell while this is being removed from them.
People are
Very
generally
good.
upset when you separate them from their gold.
Or their skin.
Does the gold have any reaction to any magic that they're using?
They don't seem to be using any magic. It seems to be all practical methods.
Okay. And then did it have a consistent spread ratio?
Taking a look at what you saw in your jar, make another medicine test, let's say.
How's 20?
Huh?
I rolled an 18. I have a +2 to medicine, so 20.
Yes, it does seem to have a consistent spread.
Okay. I tell the numbers to my grandson. He will remember them.
Oh, yeah, I'm writing all of this now.
Yes.
All right.
And then I also see, so the people who are healing, doing any of the healing work, are they wearing any like PPE, any personal protection equipment?
Absolutely.
Okay, so they're being careful not to get the gold on them.
They are not touching it at all with bare skin. All of them are wearing some sort of artificed glove that goes over their hand that is of a heavy material. You can see that it is lined itself. It looks to be a thin layer, almost like a silver sheen or a mithril, some sort of a coating. Artifice is something that's very common in Eberron. They are definitely wearing protective gear versus poisons and diseases.
Yes.
These are commonplace in areas where there are epidemics. You see them all around Eberron.
So are they wearing any face masks?
They are all wearing some kind of face mask, and most of them are also wearing eye protection.
Okay.
Are there any animals? Animals, dogs, cats, birds,
Few birds that are up in the rafters. There always are in churches.
but no like dogs being covered in gold.
That's correct. No dogs or cats or other animals being covered in gold.
I start hitting
At least
out.
none that are being treated in the church.
And recollection, did we see any on the way in?
You did
On the
not.
streets?
While CSI is happening, Nix is going to sort of range out ahead because we're sort of like walking towards presumably the back of the church. He's going to sort of range out a little bit. Like he just, there's like some, what's going on here? And like Nix is just gone. He's just sort of wandered off, right?
All right.
And he's just like kind of getting, he's kind of like looking, he's just sort of like kind of being weird nosy kid, just sort of like kind of getting like, are you? It looks like that hurts. Are you okay? And just one part kind of checking on people and one part just sort of like morbid curiosity.
All right.
Yeah.
The person you're talking to is lucid, and you look as a woman in middle age turns over to you, a half-elven woman, and she goes, "Are you a doctor?"
No. Can I help you? What do you need?
She pauses at a glass that is on a small side table. She says, "It hurts more or less. It helps."
What's in the glass?
It's empty. You don't know.
Oh, okay. Is there any sort of like container around or something that looks like it may be like not necessarily a water pitcher, but I'm assuming that this is water laced with something as a painkiller.
There is.
Yeah.
Laudanum.
You
Let's
take-
go have some laudanum.
Let's go ahead and some laudanum. You go ahead and you refill her glass with what's
Yeah.
in the pitcher.
Yeah.
She drinks it very quickly, and over the course of the next 10 or 15 seconds falls softly asleep.
Maybe just Goldschlager.
Cool Birchway vodka.
When you pour it, there is no indication that it is anything other than water.
Mhm.
So it does not have a smell or a color change to it that you're able to identify without further investigation. All right. You go ahead and drink it.
Just a tiny sip. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Match.
Nat
20.
Nat 20. You definitely taste something in it. It is wintergreen in flavor. It tingles on the tongue. And then when you swallow it, you feel a quick sense of euphoria and numbness come over your mouth and your throat, but then it quickly dissipates and goes away. Yes, when you would drink it in a higher quantity, there is a high probability that this might provide some analgesic effect. But at current, little sip, just a tester.
I'm going to take out an empty water skin.
Okay.
And pour some of that in there just to have in case we need it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Are any of the clerics sort of around me? Are they fussing about all over people, or are they? I mean, I'm assuming there's people in nursing sorts of roles, clerics or otherwise, paladins.
Quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to turn around and reach over and within like 5 or 10 feet, go over and tap somebody on the shoulder.
But they're just letting the four of us sort of be. They're busy, so I would imagine so.
Correct. Yep.
While he's doing that, in the background of whatever else is going on here, I am going to find a bin that has the protective gear in it and lift enough for us.
All right. You have acquired protective gear for everybody in the party.
Right. And I will hand it out while they are
finding
doing
the appropriate sizes must be a
Mhm.
challenge.
Yeah.
But
Not noticing that Nyx has stepped away, the rest of you are taken up to the front where you find a person who you assume is Father Maddox. They are the one who is wearing the proper garb of the high priest of the Church of the Sovereign Host, or the Temple of the Sovereign Host. Maddox is a dwarf, bald except for a rather large gray beard braided. The different livery that he has on, indicating that he is a member of the host, is minor. He's mostly wearing protective gear and the gear of a physician. And he is currently casting some form of spell. You can go ahead and I'll make free arcana checks whether you have it or not. You might just recognize the spell.
6.
Same.
13.
That -1 intelligence really came.
Right, same.
Casting greater restoration on a person, and in doing so, you see all of it goes away, and the person falls asleep. He nods and turns back, and they take the person and they move them away. But all the gold curse vanishes off of this person. He sits up and he reaches in and he pulls out a flask and he opens it up. And he pours it into a small cup, and it's a greenish liquid, and it's a small teacup, and he takes it and he slowly sips it, puts it back down, puts it in the flask, puts it away, and then he, after doing that, he looks up.
Sister Akara.
Hello! It is good to see you!
Yes, hello. Slow going, I take it?
She nods.
Father Maddox, we have some people here who brought to us by the town constabulary who wish to lend their assistance.
And he downs the rest of his little glass, sets it down, hands on his knees, and stands up with a creak and old man standing.
Dwarf dad noises.
Right? Pulls out a cane and begins to walk kind of towards you with the cane.
We can always use help from those who are outside, as the town itself has become a bit tainted as of late.
Wolford spins his book around and points to a page and says, "Do you think it would be fairy magic?"
Looks at it. And immediately you see that he starts to think about what you said.
I hadn't considered that, young man. So much things to tell, but how did you come to that conclusion so quickly?
Oh, Wilford rattles off the symptoms. Clearly, the Fae are.
Father Maddox.
Yes. They have a guild pass. They are from the Adventurers Guild. They are here to assist directly with our problem. I know that, Sister Akara. You may go back to your century. Thank you so much for bringing them here. And she goes, I believe I should wait in case there's anything you further need from the Protector to help them get established. Quite right indeed. Tea, anyone?
Biscuit?
Oh, well, as a matter of fact, I will take this.
Do you know I brought some iced buns. This might be nice.
Oh.
She pulls out just like a container of like hot cross buns.
He pulls out his flask,
That are still
opens
warm.
it up,
Yeah.
How'd you keep them cold?
goes over and pours
still warm.
it into a hot
Ice
kettle.
buns.
Right.
Iced as in icing.
Icing love.
Wilford produces a tablecloth from his backpack, pushes some things off to the side.
Yep.
A table full of medical instruments and who knows what the hell was on it is now covered in
It's
a
not our
tablecloth
problem.
and
Not
ice
our
buns.
Ice buns, biscuits, all kinds of scones.
Ingrid will just dig in and start taking them and go,
We've got the
tea?
plates.
You said you had tea?
He comes back with a pot in which he poured a concentrated tea into and then added hot boiling water. He comes over with a series of small cups and looks at
The full banquet place setup.
High tea. Like absolutely. There's scones. There's cheese.
Cucumber sandwiches.
Little sandwiches. Just
Yeah.
little crustless sandwiches. Fresh bread. Fresh butter.
She's
jam.
still warm.
Ingrid has like a handful of like 6 sandwiches as she's eating.
he's staring at you. He goes, I wish you would have let me wipe it down first. But,
Oh, we got that, love.
sets down cups of tea.
As soon as the food appears, Nick's like nature just reappears.
Out of the shadows.
Out of nowhere, yeah, out of the shadow. Gathers a plate and disappears again. Yes, very good. Yeah.
And he
Like you
places
have a
down a
teenager.
pot of hot tea and he pours himself a glass. And then he sits back down on a bench and he pulls out a handkerchief and he wipes the sweat off of his bald head and tucks it back in. Removes his gloves now and goes over and washes his hands in a basin before coming back to enjoy some refreshment with you all. So tell me what you know first.
Well, Millie will rattle off everything she's learned.
Rather than
Basically,
recap-
like the
You
it
recap
has-
the adventure that you just used.
I had the
Yes, you
consistent
recap.
spread. We recap how we got involved.
All of the cryptids, we know that it's not.
Okay.
And then that I noticed what I noticed downstairs, the consistent spread that the gold skin is active after death. Like she pulls out the little protected vial and puts it down. And she noticed too that the only magic she's seen worked on this has been the Great Restoration. That the folks downstairs are using mechanical methods.
We don't have someone as advanced as myself in the realm of clerical magics to be able to fix people. The Greater Restoration does work. It removes the curse. There's only so many people that I can cure in a day, and I only cure those who, unfortunately through triage, need to be those that you can deem, it's terrible to say, but those who must be saved. For example, I may not save a farmer, but there are only 2 people in town who are capable of the task of purifying the wells with their own magic to help me in other ways. So I will try to prioritize in certain elements. I'm not always good at it, but it's a difficult task and it's weighing very heavily on me.
But it is definitely a curse. It's not biologic
Or fairy
agent.
magic.
Or a naiad.
Or Naiad.
If it was a curse,
We
it would
ruled
be
out
a
Naiad last.
curse, but this is Greater Restoration. That's like a different thing.
Restoration seems to be the only thing. It does have elements of a curse.
But remove curse does not work.
Remove curse will get rid of it for a time, but it will come back.
Do you know if it comes from something and we can smash it for you?
I was trying to find that out. He turns around and he grabs a series of scrolls and he puts them down. Papers he's been writing. It's like, all of our initial folks that have been brought in, that have been trying to deal with where they might have gotten it, where this could have come from. Few things have happened in the past several weeks that could have been a problem. Things that could have caused this. There have been ships that have come through town. There have been a whole number of different things for which these people overlap. But I've been trying to find he places the papers down, but I've been trying to find some kind of connective point, but I've found none.
Ingrid reach into a pocket and take out her like small like bifocals that she puts on her nose and kind of hunkers down at the desk and takes out a visor, puts on it to push her hair out of her face. And she starts looking at these papers.
Okay. He
He realizes you were doing that and he goes and he grabs 2 more large stacks and he puts them down.
She'll just reflexively
Oh,
hand
yeah,
half of
we'll
it to
just
Wilfred.
begin.
Yeah.
Doing it.
The governor doesn't, the mayor doesn't seem to care. He doesn't want this to be a problem. He wants it to go away. He's not yet reached out to Shayn. He's not yet reached out to any of the other temples. He's assuming that we can take care of this. He's brought in some outside help in the form of healers. All the people here from other temples have come to help. And they haven't come from other nations yet, but they've come as far south as Shayn and as far north as Rote, without altering or in any way disturbing his position as proper mayor of the town. It makes me sick. I have taken the time, myself and Sister Akara, to try and piece together some investigation into where this could be coming from. It's only been over the past few weeks. These are also notes taken from those who have disappeared that I was able to acquire from the local constabulary. And Sister Akara speaks up, actually Twitch and Sledge were able to give those to us. Good boys, not quite right in their head, and their clothes don't fit. However, they still help when they can. What we have here, we haven't been able to go through all of it yet, so if there's any help you can get looking through here, perhaps there's something that you could find in it that would connect all of these different victims together.
Yeah, Wilfred is again going through the paperwork to
Yep.
try to figure out which cryptid is causing this.
Okay, go ahead. Can I just give Wilfred advantage?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, it's an investigation check. If you're trying to do nature to see what cryptid it is, nature. But I'm gonna say investigation is probably best. Yep.
What am I good at? Okay.
Good at everything, darling.
A 12.
A 12.
Mhm.
Okay.
you're looking at it, and sometimes it's really bare bones. It's sometimes it's like worked for 3 days, went home. Worked for 3 days, went home. Worked for 3 days, went home. You know, things like that. It's very simple. There's nothing really to it. Other times they're really, really, really involved. One of the things that you find out, and just looking at it, it clicks to you because you're used to seeing patterns. You're an accountant. You're used to this. It happened. Every single one of the people in this list that you look at, you probably look through about, let's say 50 out of 200 or so. The first 50 you look at come down with some sign of the gold curse 2 days after their day off. They work. They have 1 or 2 days off, and then immediately day after, gold curse. Doesn't say what they do during those days off, at least not in the first 50 you looked at, but.
Where do people go for fun around here, like adults?
Where's the pub, love?
Oh, they're all over the place. Pubs are ever present. No, and a lot of them around town lately, of course.
Do they all get their supply from the same brewery? Same wineries?
No. Most of them make it themselves. They're very proud of the local brews here. They all make them in-house.
And you've checked the water supply?
Many times. In fact, some of the people who I've had to heal are those who are helping me investigate if the water or the food is the thing. So far, we found nothing. No trace of it.
Should look at the wheat fields.
What about not pubs? I mean, you all do
Selkie.
bingo.
Perhaps be a
Selkie.
Are there any gaming halls? Any music festivals? Any plays? What's the culture?
Who thinks about it? They go, I don't get out much. Sister Akara?
Maybe asking if they're in the paladin.
Maybe asking.
They look and they go,
asking the
they said,
non-paladin.
it's like, let's see, I polished my arm, I prayed, I self-flagellated, I prayed again.
Well, we noticed some commonalities here amongst the individuals having their day off of work before they contracted.
Is there somebody who has contracted who's lucid in the nearby? Yeah, that I can talk to. Like within a couple, that I can see.
The new admittance, yes.
Yeah.
And points to a part of the church in which people who have just newly been brought in and should be fully lucid and not suffering too much pain that they can converse.
Mascot, darling.
Wilflin put on his mask as soon as he got here. From his own. Yes. Right. Wilflin strides over and sort of, hello, chaps. I'm Wilf. If I might be so bold, may I ask? On your day off, what did you do?
You walk up to a small halfling, and they look at you. And look at even no, small halfling to a halfling, short for a halfling even. And the halfling, sort of bordering potentially very tall gnome, looks over at you and is sort of looking at the small rash in arm. They're very scared, and they, what?
Your day off. What did you do?
My day off.
Day off.
Your most recent day off. A couple days ago.
Who? And looks up, and the sister nods. Oh, went to the circus.
Circus?
Just out of town in the circus and casino. Came a couple weeks ago.
That's no treat at all.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we have
Now that
a lead.
we've heard circus, is there any other indicators in the papers we had looked at mentioning a circus in any of their
Flyers on the
reports or anything?
You take a look, and you haven't seen anything. You've been mostly drawn to the giant posters that have put over everything that say, who gives a shit about the circus? There's people missing. There's a disease. So that's been the most thing.
Father Merrick says, when did this circus come to town?
You go talk to me and say, I didn't know there was a circus in town, to be honest.
We said a couple weeks, right? Sick guy said.
I know, but I want
He goes, I don't pay much attention to the goings on outside. Circus comes through. Many things travel. It's a big city. Unless it has to do with the host or the water supply. And anyway, sometimes I'm very dedicated also to the apothecaries and some of the artifices. I wouldn't know.
We should ask Twigs.
We should ask Twigs.
All right.
He is basically a circus act as he is.
Twigs is right.
I would like to sneak away for a little bit.
Okay, you sneak away.
Great. I am looking for. I am looking for signs, like little hidden sigils
Okay.
in doorways and anything that indicates an entrance to a sort of criminal or smuggling underground.
The Thieves Guild.
In the church?
In the church.
In the church, the lower levels around the pantry and the kitchen areas, and where they would receive goods and where things would leave in the alleys behind the church.
That's going to take a little bit of time. So you're going to do a thorough walk. So we'll give you a perception test in a minute.
Wonderful.
Meanwhile, while Mildred slips away from all of you, you have questioned both a halfling who was just brought in, as well as Maddox, about this, what they said was a circus and casino that recently showed up outside of town.
It could be a fey circus or casino.
Hi. Do you recall receiving documents on a casino?
Well, I don't believe that we've had one approved recently in Collegetown, but I could check a district over or so. I know that the F-36 Bravo is always considered a ancillary report that is only properly processed with us if it is actually going to rise to appropriate level of public concern.
Still, the revenue generated by an illegal casino.
It's truly a compromise to the entire community. Talk about a disease, this is a very degradation of the tax system.
I can't.
Your conversation put several of the people suffering to sleep around it.
So you want to go to the circus / casino?
So Twigs.
Am I old
We should talk to Twigs
Talk to
first.
Twigs.
Then we find out about the circus and
Am I old
casino.
enough to get in?
Is he left
You're
or
with
right
an
Twix?
adult.
Okay.
What?
Was he left or right Twix?
All right.
We left Twix behind and no one left. So, but thank you.
As you all go to see Twigs, you are given the directions to the local constable's office from our good friend, Sister Akara, tells you where to go. As you step outside, you are going to run into Mildred, who is conducting and finishing her search. Why don't you go ahead and roll perception? Let's see what you find.
12.
12. You're pretty sure that the church is above board. This temple of the sovereign host does not have any indicators that you are able to see. Now, whether or not that means that your eagle eyes simply failed you, that's up to you to determine. If maybe they are shady, but you find nothing to indicate such.
That's disappointing. I'm going to keep searching for a sigil that matches the one that is tattooed on the inside of my arm.
Copy that. All right. Okay.
It's a little wrinkly, fan it out of it.
Right, yeah. It's been a while. And also, it's a secret.
It's like that was in Simpson with the hellfish thing on the grandpa's tattoo.
You guys make your way across town. Go ahead and give me one more die 20 roll. Let's just see if anything random happens.
5.
2, 3.
Oh, me too?
You meet up with them as they are coming out of the cathedral
18.
or the church. What?
18.
18. Okay. As you are walking, you look down a alleyway and you see that there are two people. One of them seems to be a halfling. The other one is a human. The halfling and human, their backs are to you. Both of them have sort of long, straggly hair. And you see that they are bullying a terrified child who's trying to back away in an alleyway. What do you do? The only reason you notice is the child is trying to yell, and it seems to be too scared to get out a proper scream. But you hear the whelps.
Great. Oi! Grease locks!
They turn around at you, and their eyes are gold. They're drooling out of their mouths.
Ah, fuck. Boys! And lady. We got some lime runs!
All right.
Kids like this sometimes.
One of them draws a mace, the other one draws a short sword, and they begin to make their way lunging towards you through the alley. What do you do?
Delightful.
Oh, initiative.
Initiative. Yeah, roll initiative.
Fuck them up!
Come on!
Wolfen, it's your turn.
So are they clearly hostile to us?
They have drawn weapons and are making their way with sort of a zombie shuffle towards you. The drawing of weapons is sort of the indicator. But have they swung at you?
Aggravated assault on a municipal employee is a capital offense. as everybody knows. Yeah, Wolfen will unshoulder his longbow.
But you don't work in this municipality. It's different.
We have a memorandum of understanding with this town.
Oh yeah, you told me about MOUs. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take a longbow shot at this one over here. How about a 16 to hit?
A 16 to hit. All right. Strikes true.
Okay. 5 piercing damage.
The damage goes through you. Let's go ahead. Can we replace the one of those with the blue? One will be the human will be the blue. The halfling will be the clear.
Oh, I'll shoot the human.
The human. Okay. The shot goes through the human's shoulder. It clears all the way through, passes through, strikes the barrel on the other side, and you see a spout just of quicksilver just come out of the hole. They go with a hand that doesn't have the mace. Punk. It still goes out the back though.
Wolfen looks delighted at his bow.
All right.
Got it on sale.
Okay. Timmy.
Take the price tag off, love.
Did you write it off or?
Well, now I can.
Yeah.
It was used in the pursuit of employment. So.
Timmy basically a long, beautiful, painted silver sword appears in his hand. Out of basically thin air, and he walks up and he goes,
Well,
"Are
when
we?
he does
Are we
that-
not? Are we killing them?"
Yes, love.
Oh, okay. And just takes a swing, sort of after kind of flourishing a little bit, and the sword actually picks up momentum as he's swinging it, which is weird. Like he's a weedy little kid, and the sword speeds up as he's swinging it, and hopefully crushes into this guy.
Remind me of Nix's age.
16.
Where would you like to be?
Right up next to. Okay.
All right. After Nix runs up and the shot that comes from Wolfen, can everybody who is still in the front of the alley, has not entered, make me a free perception test?
Okay. That's an 8. God damn, these dice.
20.
15.
Okay. Wolfen and Mildred, you hear the sounds of oohs and ahs as the crowd notices that people at the end of an alley, one of them has drawn a bow and fired an arrow, and another one has charged forward with a sword that materialized out of thin air. The people in the middle of the town during the day are noticing a combat has occurred, and they are making the sounds appropriate to when this happens in a fantasy setting.
Isn't this what got us arrested? Anyway, I rolled a 9, so I don't actually think I connect.
All right. Yeah, you run forward and you swing, and funny enough, they are more maneuverable than you would have thought as they actually dodge the blow. It's a quick movement.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
In fact, they bend in a way that is unnatural. Okay.
If we kill them, there will be paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it.
Ingrid, it is your move.
All right, Ingrid's going to take out it's basically a steel rod covered in runes and giant.
Okay.
And at the top of it is a pair of small pink axe blades with hearts in the centers of them. And she's going to twirl it in her hand. And I'm going to cast Shillelagh as the axe blades and extend into these purple energy blades from it. And she's going to roll up and try and bonk the halfling.
All right.
There we go. That's it's Shillelagh, so that is a 19 to hit.
Yes, very much connects.
Okay. And that is 5 magic damage.
All right, 5 magic damage. Okay. And it's is it bludgeoning?
It's bludgeoning.
Okay, you go ahead and smack.
It's a quarterstaff.
You smack the halfling on the side of the head. Their head indents by 6 inches and almost like a balloon just getting blown into pops back out. When they do it, they vomit quicksilver and it comes down their face. So, all right. Mildred.
Actually, Miladred.
Miladred.
Bet that's fine.
Just call her Millie.
Granny.
Great. She's gonna move up slightly.
Lady Autumn Hollow.
Oh. No, lady. She's gonna look at this one in front of. Actually, she's gonna look at the blue one. And that's,
Okay. Right.
The one her grandson's
The
fighting.
one that is in front of Timmy, the human.
Oh right, her grandson.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yep.
It's you know what? He's my adopted grandson. It's,
Yes, Ingrid and Timmy are currently the ones who are in melee combat.
and she's gonna look at him and go,
Nix. Yeah, Nix. Right.
she's gonna look at this idiot and go, "You look so dumb. I bet you poop on the table to keep the flies off the sugar." For 3 psychic damage.
Oh!
Vicious mockery.
All right, 3 psychic damage. Okay. Yelling at the human does not get a rise out of the human. However, you do feel your spell strike. Coming forward now are the 2 gold cursed. The human pulls back and swings at you, Nix.
18's your number.
18 is the number. It's a complete miss. It just banks off of your armor. Nothing happens. Right. The halfling comes at you, Ingrid, as well. With a short
16.
sword.
Yeah.
16. A 16. It is going to just hit. Boom. For 2 damage.
Okay.
All right. 2 slashing. After they hit you, you can see that the action of moving and just going around, you can see that parts of the metal on their skin slightly begins to crack, almost as though it is as thin as gold leaf, and little driplets of quicksilver begin to run down where the skin tears. It's just the act of any kind of actual movement outside of just slowly shambling is kind of causing them to fall apart. All right, back to the top of the order with Wolfen.
The same. Less good. 13 to hit.
13 will not hit.
Not hit. An arrow whizzes by, but does not find its mark.
All right.
Ranger's pretty nice.
Being very careful not to hit those that are in front of your targets, so a little bit more overcompensation than needed.
Want to make sure I don't hit the child.
Correct. Nix.
Yeah, we're gonna run that back. We're gonna try that again.
Okay.
So more booming blade fun. There we go. All right. 20 to hit.
Instead of a swipe, this time you try a stab, knowing that they can bend. How much can they move back? It's not that well, so you connect.
Yeah. So it is 11 damage.
11. Okay. Wow. All right.
Incidentally, if he moves more than 5 feet away, or if he moves away from me, he takes another d8.
The 11 damage that you do to this, the 11 damage that you do to this human who's overcome by the curse, causes an immense amount of this quicksilver to splatter all around. I need the 2 of you to make dexterity saving throws.
Okay. 17.
17.
Much less than that.
Okay.
What was that?
6.
6. It hits you, and it is boiling hot. You take 4 fire damage from molten quicksilver. Even though it's like oddly to say molten, it's more boiling quicksilver as it is hundreds of degrees in this temperature, and it hits you and scalds immediately. You can also feel this terrible itching begin to spread on your skin as well. Where it hits you, make me a Constitution saving throw as well.
That was much better. 19.
Okay. It quickly goes away. And all you feel is the pain of the burning.
Oh, great.
All right.
And the human's still alive.
The human is still alive.
Keep that.
The wound that they suffered should have felled a normal human. You slice them open through the abdomen. There's a massive amount of damage, but yet they are still up for some reason. All right. Ingrid.
I'm gonna take a free strike from the human potentially, so I can move around to the halfling to put myself between the kid and the gold cursed.
Okay, they will take a swipe. They will not hit you.
Okay. And so, put my shield up, got a big circular shield with a star in the center of it. And I'm gonna shillelagh the halfling again.
All right.
Nope.
Oh.
10.
A swing, but all of your moving. The halfling saw this and was definitely able to duck under the swing. All right.
And tell the child to try to move away.
You tell the child to move?
Yeah.
All right.
Move, little one. We will defend you.
Go ahead and roll persuasion. Try to snap the child out of it.
Nope, it's 4.
Okay. You're trying to snap the child out of them, but they're paralyzed with fear at the moment. Okay. Miladred.
You can shove as a bonus action.
No, you can't.
I use my bow to catch Lily.
Also that. Also this. That's not a thing.
It's not really a thing. Yeah.
Listen, just because I know my mechanics from Baldur's Gate. 3.
Not judging, just
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't work that way.
Well, fine.
You gonna laugh at somebody again?
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes.
It is.
Okay. So she tugs back. Like
still
the
have
cardigan
those
she's wearing is like big, chunky knit, like a mustard yellow sort of
It keeps
granny sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she hulls back her arm to reveal a very intricate leather bracer that has a bunch of pieces of metal. And she shakes out her arm, and it like shakes down and assembles into a light crossbow.
All right.
I don't fuck around, love.
That's not hitting you.
What do you think it fires?
Right.
What he said. And so she's going to target the clear one here. But she's going to be using a slashing flourish.
Okay.
So let's see. Okay, so that's only a 6 to hit, sadly.
A 6 to hit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Inspired yourself there.
Okay. Wonderful flashing in the assembly and just the joy of it all. The shot goes wild and does not connect. So back to the gold cursed. All of these shots coming from over the place, they are still very much focused on those who are in melee combat with them. You see that the one who's had their abdomen sliced open, the human, drops their weapon and they just begin to foam from the mouth, a silvery foam, and they come at you with hands and they just try to grab a hold of you.
Well, Chris got hands.
Yeah, throwing hands.
They're even more clumsy doing this than otherwise, and as they try to grab you, they fail. But when you shield and knock them away, grabbing a hold of their chest and making this terrible wailing sound, they explode.
Ugh.
Glad I shoot.
Yeah,
Dexterity
all the way over
saving
here.
throw from the two of you again. You can remove
There we
them from
go.
the board, please.
20.
Just the blue one.
Oh,
White
just the
facility.
blue.
Yeah. What?
I
20?
got a 20 not natural.
Okay, you guys both back away at the last minute and you sort of drop down. You both just sort of realize what's happening as you can see their body begin to bulge, and the explosion goes mostly up as they shower the buildings on both sides with gouts of this boiling quicksilver and then falling over and just spilling out into a puddle on the ground. And there's basically nothing left of them but just a thin shell of metals in a vague human form. The halfling also covered with it. You see it sizzling and burning, but it has no effect on the halfling, the quicksilver that covers them. Okay, Wilfin, your action.
Well, that was exciting.
The halfling does not take another action for some reason. You see that they don't swing.
Interesting.
They don't swing.
Is it still looking like it's aggressive toward us?
You see that it has frozen when it gets sprayed in the face with this quicksilver. Go ahead and make a perception. Make an insight check.
Sure. A 7.
No idea.
Okay.
The halfling did not attack.
I'm gonna pause. I'll knock an arrow, but I'm gonna kind of lower my bow a little bit. But if it gets aggressive toward my friends, I will shoot it again. But I have no desire to murder somebody on the street here.
All right.
My permit wouldn't cover that.
Nix.
Yes, sort of like having a sense of what's going on here. He's just sort of actually, I'm going to try backing away from it.
Okay.
Let's see if that provokes an AOO or not.
It does not. You take a step back.
Yep.
The halfling does not swing.
Okay.
Are you all right, buddy?
Actually, rather than stepping back, I'm going to step forward than here
Okay.
and see if I can sort of nudge, intimidate, whatever, the child away from the situation.
With physical force and touching the child is able to snap out of it, looks
Yep.
and sees that you're clearly protecting, and then stands up and begins to scamper away without saying so much as a thank you, just runs. I'll take the child off the board.
And then I'll back away. And then,
Okay. Right. Ingrid.
I'm gonna go just an abundance of caution to full defensive, and I'm gonna go towards Millie. I can't reach that far, so just put me in front of Millie.
Over here?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Then we come back to Miladred.
Thank you, sweetie.
Trying.
Well, she's patting. So she pauses for a second, and then tilts her head at the halfling, and pulls out of her bag a ball of a silvery yarn. It's sort of like mithril threaded, for durability. And then she hands it to. She holds it up and she's like, "Well, whoever wants to get close, let's just tie him up." Here,
Wilfred kind of looks at himself, looks at the 8-foot Goliath.
You are better with ropes than I am.
Oh boy. Yeah.
But restraining piles of paper, of course.
The 120-pound soaking wet,
Sure.
reedy teenager, 2 halflings, or the Goliath.
The halfling drops their short sword and kneels by the body of the human and seems to mourn them.
Oof. You're almost guilty about that homicidal zombie.
Doesn't say a word. It's like if a zombie mourned another zombie. It's now
See
real
if I can just
verbal communication.
Get his hands and sort of like.
No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, you're able to touch the hands.
Can I try?
Do me a favor. Make an intelligence check. Just roll eyes. Roll medicine. Roll medicine.
Okay.
Roll medicine.
That's much better. That's a 24.
Before you touch the halfling, you glove up.
Oh, sure.
And then you wrap their hands.
I assume I still have my PPE on from.
Oh, yes.
I suppose I didn't specify. So,
Walking
yeah.
around town dressed full head to toe in a doctor protective gear. That's up to you.
The town is rife with disease.
I mean,
Fair.
Okay, I glove up in any case.
Yes, there's no contamination risk.
Can I try healing word?
Yeah.
And see if it gets them to enough lucidity to talk to us.
Go ahead. Yeah, you try it. Roll the amount of hit points it heals.
Should be D4 plus your
I think
passing.
it is, but I also have spells on my character sheet here, which is a lot easier because math.
Cute.
Let's see.
I don't imagine playing Dungeons and Dragons with paper and pencils.
Crazy.
What are we doing here?
What are
Yeah.
these weird plastic
I know.
things? I don't know about this.
Well, let me tell you how this goes though. So she pulls out of her purse a pipe that's connected to a tartan fabric.
Oh, she's
And for it heals the music of our ancestors. Can fill up to 4 points of healing.
It's beautiful.
For this.
Is that Scotland the Brave?
My favorite.
So Danny boy.
Boy. Sorry.
That was pretty good.
I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, 4 healing points.
Okay. When that happens, you can see the gold on their skin recede in certain patches, not completely, but it does in the eyes temporarily turn back to a cloudy but actual eyes that you can see. You can see pupil iris clouded over as though a thin silver sheen, but not just orbs of gold.
Well, hi there, sweetie. Why were you attacking a child?
Money. Gold. We need the gold.
Why do you need the gold? What does it feel like with no gold?
That face with no gold.
We feel the weight of what we owe.
I see.
We feel the weight.
Owe to who?
Who do you owe to?
The gold starved. They crave it. We must pay them the gold. We suffer for what we've done.
Where do we find the gold starved to, give them gold?
Persuasion.
Wonderful. I guess.
Let's see, 9 plus 16.
I'll tell you for gold.
I'll give you the gold when you tell me.
You can see an angry look come over their face.
Oh, Wilflin will just give this poor guy a gold piece.
One gold piece.
One gold piece.
The halfling grabs it, holds it, and puts it in their mouth. and swallows
my
it.
pouch of
Yep.
And then holds up a hand and points.
Is that the general direction of the circus/casino?
You have no idea where it is.
Oh,
okay.
So at present, your guess is a good.
I mean, I'll ask it. I'll ask it. Would that be the circus?
No response. It is not comprehending
How
normal
far?
gatherings.
How far? How many steps that way?
No answer. Not able to comprehend. Just blank
Okay.
look.
We have a lead.
Underground? Above ground?
They point again. They don't point down. They point and make a survival check.
I have survival.
Make a survival
That's
roll.
one to do some tracking.
Roll that one.
I got a 6. 6.
I got a +5.
Does anyone get a 10 or more?
Yes, actually. Yeah,
They
the ring-
point.
the
They
rings are
point
on,
slightly up. If the indication of where they're pointing is anything,
Mhm.
it is on a hill over yonder.
Okay.
And you can look over and you can see that you are in a valley.
Yeah.
From where you are, it goes down to the river. So the town is in this shallow valley, and surrounded around you, the forest is up on a slightly raised hill. The round is about.
Okay.
So they're pointing upward as opposed to downward or anywhere else. They're clearly pointing upward, and they've indicated a direction, but that is all.
Okay.
All other questions that don't seem to go around what they're going for, gold, or where they need to go, or who they're getting it for, give you these blank stares as the eyes quickly begin to turn back to gold.
How far were we from the church when this happened?
You were probably, I'd say, like a 5-minute walk, maybe
Okay.
less.
Can,
And it was a leisurely walk. It wasn't a hard run. You could probably get there in a couple minutes if you wanted to move
Okay.
quickly.
Ingrid will go run back to the church then.
Weird loves pick them up.
Yeah.
take 'em over there.
Or I was just gonna bring somebody here from the church to go grab them.
I mean, I feel like you could just palm
Yeah.
his skull
I'll
and just
PD
throw it
up
out.
and
Just tarp him up.
grabbed a halfling in one hand, basically.
Yeah.
The halfling has already been tied up with
Yeah.
yarn. They're
Yeah.
going nowhere. You
Yeah.
grab the halfling and you bring them to
Yeah.
the church. And when you see it, the people are overwhelmed to see this person. They identify it as a Galtus Kepler, who is one of the sort of like local Wainwrights, and they're very happy to see that they're wondering because he's been missing for days, and they grab this halfling and they bundled up and everything, and they then do the bodies. They take him into the back really quickly to get him at least taken care of or help. So that halfling has been saved.
And also let them know that there's splattered remains of
Yeah.
a human.
For decontamination or whatever.
The people had gone running, and since you have all left, for those of you who are still there, because I believe that you, Ingrid, went by yourself. Yep.
Yeah. I had no reason.
Oh,
for me to
fair enough, yeah.
go to halfling.
As the halfling is
You
taken,
took it.
as the halfling
Yeah.
is taken to salvation and safety, we take a break as the constables. Twigs and Sledge come to see what the disturbance was, as people have said that there is murder going on and there's other problems in the alleyway. And as we take a quick break here, we will pick up again in a moment with Twigs and Sledge staring at you all, being like, "Oh, not this again."
Oh, you lot.
Hello, loves.
All right, see you all in a minute. We hope you've enjoyed the first half of this session. Stay tuned for the breakdown conversation, where we talk about this first half, what was going through my head, what was going through the players' heads, and where we go from here. Make sure you subscribe to catch the second half of the session, where the players will have even more ridiculous curveballs to throw at me. You see, everything we do here is made by real artists and creatives. If you're a fan of what we're doing and want to support us, please like, comment, subscribe, check out the links below. All of the support that you give us will help us continue to do this bigger and better, and directly help support the real artist helping bring all of this to life. And if you have suggestions or ideas on how we can do this better, or story ideas that you'd like to see, please let us know in the comments below. Thank you.